Hey Lions! Ancient parts, screws, gears, shafts, cores, and giant cores have many uses in Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you need them for some important things in the game. Today, let's go over all the things for all ancient parts and what they're used for and the best ways to find them. If you don't know me, I'm Nico and I love doing and collecting everything possible in Zelda games. If you need help doing or collecting anything in Zelda games, I hope you consider subscribing or at least checking out the channel. First, let's talk about their uses, including gear upgrades, cooking, side quests, and then we'll talk about different ways to find them. So skip ahead if you know what you're looking for, or check the links in the description for the timestamps. Or just watch the whole thing because you like me. First, yes, you can cook them. They're considered monster parts, so you do need them to be cooked with a critter. Screws and springs add 1 minute and 10 seconds to an elixir. Gears and shafts add 1 minute and 50 seconds to an elixir. Regular cores and giant cores add 3 minutes and 10 seconds to an elixir. There shouldn't be any reason to use them for elixirs, but at least now you know. The one main reason you might need some ancient parts is to upgrade your Sheikah Slate in Hateno Tech Lab. You need 3 screws to upgrade the sensor to search for compendium stuff. You need 3 shafts to upgrade to bombs to increase the range and lower the cooldown time. And you need 3 cores to upgrade stasis to allow stasis enemies and also lower the cooldown time. There's one other side quest you indirectly need ancient parts, and that's the Weapon Connoisseur side quest. The little boy Neb in Hateno Village asks to see certain weapons, and the last weapon he wants to see is the ancient short sword. And in order to get the ancient short sword, you do need to purchase it in Akkala Tech Lab. It costs 1,000 rupees, 15 ancient springs, 5 ancient shafts, and 2 ancient cores. With that said, you do need ancient parts for some of the strongest weapons in the game from Cherry. These ancient weapons do 50% more damage to guardian enemies. Of course, arrows make enemies disappear, the shield auto-reflects guardian lasers, but it does take durability, and the ancient bow does have the longest range in the game next to the twilight bow, which you do need an amiibo to get. You also need ancient parts if you want to purchase and upgrade one of the best armor sets in the game, the ancient gear. You also get this from Cherry in Akkala Tech Lab. The helmet costs 2,000 rupees along with 20 ancient gears, 5 ancient shafts, and 3 ancient cores. The body costs 2,000 rupees along with 20 ancient gears, 5 ancient screws, and 3 ancient cores. The legs also cost 2,000 rupees along with 20 ancient gears, 5 ancient springs, and 3 ancient cores. That's a total of 6,000 rupees, 5 screws, 60 gears, 10 springs, and 9 cores to purchase the set. For upgrading that gear, each piece of the ancient gear needs 5 screws and 5 springs for the first upgrade. They need 15 springs and 10 gears for the second upgrade, 2 giant cores for the third upgrade, and each piece needs 3 giant ancient cores for the fourth upgrade. That's a total of 15 screws, 60 springs, 30 gears, and 15 giant ancient cores to fully upgrade the ancient gear. That means a total of 6,000 rupees, 20 screws, 90 gears, 70 springs, 9 cores, and 15 giant ancient cores to purchase and fully upgrade the complete ancient set. Now for finding ancient parts, we'll talk about how to collect a good variety of them, and we'll talk about the best ways to get specific parts like giant ancient cores. There's 3 ways to get ancient parts that aren't glitches. You get them from interacting with Decayed Guardians, from treasure chests, which I won't mention them all, but I'll mention the ones with giant ancient cores since there aren't that many. And of course, defeating guardians. And of course, there is the infinite ancient parts glitch. That in itself is a whole other video, which I already have. Check the card in the corner or the links in the description. For the Decayed Guardians, they're all over Hyrule and you need to interact with them to get that part. These are the percentages if you're curious. And some of them can be flipped over for parts, and you'll get 2, 3, or 4 parts, and these are the percentages for that. And you can only take their ancient parts only once, so technically, there's a limit to how many there are. For treasures, I'm not going to name all the chests with ancient parts, but I will mention the giant ancient core ones just because there's only 9 of them, 2 in the overworld and 7 in shrines. There's 1 in the Forgotten Temple. If you fast travel to the shrine, just walk past the guardians and drop down, there's a little hole. And in the Lome Labyrinth, right at this location. And without telling you how to do the shrines, the 7 shrines with giant ancient cores are the Ryogzumo Shrine Spiral Thing in Akkala, the Da Hesho Shrine in Akkala by Terrytown, the Mirosha's Shrine at the Woodland Stable by doing probably the hardest thing in the game, and the Ma'ag Halan Shrine in the Lost Woods, the Kun Sadaj Shrine in the Lost Woods, the Ka Okeo Shrine at the east side of the map at the end of Tanagar Canyon, and the Shoka Tatun Shrine all the way in the south. Now let's talk about defeating Guardians for ancient parts. If you want to collect a lot of ancient parts, it's best of course to defeat some Guardians. You can get them from Guardian Scouts, but they may not be worth farming for them because since they're only in shrines and it takes some time to travel from shrine to shrine. But also, they don't drop that much. The best thing to do is defeat some Guardian Stalkers. If you have a hard time defeating them, you can probably come back when you're stronger, but some general notes would be, destroying legs will kind of stun them and then you can get some extra parts from the legs. Use the light from the eye to know when to parry the lasers. Just know that in Master Mode, the timing of the lasers vary. Remember to attack the eye to stun them. Multi-shot bows are great for the eyes. If you have ancient arrows, it'll do even more damage. If you shoot their eye, it defeats them almost immediately. And multi-shot bow with ancient arrows are basically one hit. I'm sure there's more stuff, but leave them in the comments if you have some ideas. And if you don't, and you would like them, go check the comments. And yes, ancient arrows are hard to come by, but if you want to know the best ways to get any type of arrow, check the card in the corner or the link in the description. You can of course defeat some Skywatchers and turrets too, and here's a map of all the Guardians to defeat. Again, if you're looking to collect lots of ancient parts, I would defeat a whole bunch of Guardians, then wait till the Blood Moon and then go back. Personally, I wouldn't defeat every single Guardian. I normally fast travel to the shrine west of Hyrule Castletown, defeat the Guardians close by, then go to Castletown and defeat all the Guardians there. I feel like going to the other Guardians, like in Hyrule Castle, isn't worth the time traveling. But sometimes I would go down to Hyrule Field and defeat them. You can still defeat the others if you want. Now let's talk about if you're trying to get specific ancient parts. Honestly, you're here for probably giant ancient cores and maybe ancient cores. For giant ancient cores, you can only get them from 3 Guardians: Guardian Stalkers, Guardian Skywatchers, and Guardian Turrets. They each have a 0.5% chance for each part that they drop to be a giant ancient core. But keep in mind that Stalkers drop 10 to 12 parts, Skywatchers drop 8 to 12 parts, and Turrets drop 5 to 8 parts. That's why I would mostly farm Guardian Stalkers over the other 2. Real quick about ancient cores, they do have a 2.5% chance to drop, but they have a higher chance to drop from Guardian Scouts 3 and 4. But I still wouldn't use Scouts where Stalkers, Skywatchers, and Turrets drop more. So if you're trying to collect lots of parts, the best thing I would do is save right in front of a Guardian, then defeat them. If you don't get the part that you want dropped, then reload your save and continue doing this over and over again. After doing this 5 times, it took me an average of 13 minutes to get a giant ancient core. Ancient parts are unique to Breath of the Wild and they for sure are an important part of the game. But a fun part of the DLC is the Master Cycle Zero. Check out this video to see the best materials to fuel the cycle and how they work. Thank you so much for watching, I hope this helps, and I hope you consider subscribing or at least checking out the channel for more Zelda content. See you next time!